Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing our last Q&A type of video leading up to tonight's premiere, the finale for The Walking Dead Season 8. In this one, we're going to give our thoughts on Scott Gimple saying they're going to be hitting the reset button going into next season, starting with Walking Dead Season 9. And spoiler warning, as per usual, if you guys are not caught up for The Walking Dead, which is up to the second last episode for The Walking Dead Season 8. So the final episode for this season is going to be tonight. We're going to see the finale for The Walking Dead Season 8, followed by the premiere for Fear the Walking Dead Season 4. So I'll put the link in the description. You guys can check this one out. It's from comicbook.com, featuring showrunner, Scott, previous former showrunner, now going to be overarching kind of, content manager for The Walking Dead and Fear the Walking Dead, AMC's The Walking Dead universe. So, this is basically what it is. It's after tonight's episode, after tonight's finale for The Walking Dead Season 8, The Walking Dead is going to be switching up a ton of stuff. In the comic book series at this time, after All Out War finished, they did a couple-year time skip, and then, after seeing that at the end of that trade going into the next volume, A New Beginning, it really is like a new beginning for The Walking Dead. Rick is a couple years older. He's been through a lot of battles. All of our characters basically have, having to survive all the way through the zombie apocalypse. So, as such, they're pretty banged up, some of them, and some of them are not, like Rick, they're not really able to kind of go out there in the field and kind of fight and do the things they used to do. Such is really the case with Rick. But it'll be interesting with the TV series to see what they do, because Carl, of course, is not there now. So when you kill Carl off, it really makes it kind of like, who do you focus on so much? Are you really going to give Henry that much time to be your Carl 2.0 and really focus on him as a character? Who's going to get that kind of Rick in the field type of time? Will it be given to Daryl? We'll have to see. So here's what the article reads, and you guys can read it through yourselves if you want to as well. So former showrunner Scott Gimple promises Sunday's episode 816 is more than just a conclusion for Season 8. In some ways of issues and stories that have spanned 8 seasons, Gimple told USA Today. Season 9 will be such a new world and new show in so many ways. Gimple, for example, will be replaced by showrunner Angela Kang. And of course, even right there, as we already knew was going to happen, that's going to have a new feel for Walking Dead. That's going to be totally different than what we've been used to when Gimple took over in Season 4 all the way through to the end of Season 8. Then it says, Fear the Walking Dead is already revamping its narrative and cast almost entirely with Season 4 as Lenny James heads over to the sibling series for a crossover as Morgan Jones. Gimple calls the crossover incredibly significant. The Dead universe has never done anything like it in the past. It's really the first time we've done this. We're starting Morgan where we left him emotionally and physically, Gimple said. And one very important thing, viewers don't need to have seen the first 3 seasons of Fear before they watch the 4th. They can come into it just as Morgan did. So let's stop there. So they're setting up Season 4 of Fear as a jumping on point for new viewers in case anybody, a lot of people who are not watching Fear. Fear really was not really doing that well. If you look at Season 2 and Season 3 of Fear compared to the original series and just in terms of fan support and hype for the series, there was, going to Season 3, there was almost none, which is a shame because Season 3 of Fear was really incredible, but it was already like so many people had flicked off that nobody was even paying attention anymore. So it was like, here they brought this incredible season in Season 3 of Fear, but just nobody cared because nobody was around, still interested to even give it a shot right at that point. But Season 4, they're revamping it. They're having Morgan crossover. They're doing it right after The Walking Dead ends. So this is really smart stuff. They're making it easy for the audience. They're making it easy for your viewers to cross over with Morgan. So very smart stuff. And there have been even you can watch online. It's going to be on tonight anyway, but you can watch the first few minutes. There's a scene AMC release with, one of the new characters there. So there's some stuff out there if you guys want to see some of the new stuff before it airs. But then again, you can just wait till tonight to see the whole episode. Might as well, right? At this point, when it comes to The Walking Dead's current villain, however, there might be a decent length future on the horizon. I'm a fan of the comic, and this story parallels the comic in many ways. There are some big differences, and there will be moving forward, Gimple said. This is a show that has lived in the world of Twitter. It's something you check in on, and it's interesting, but there can be so much praise and criticism for the same things. Anybody's opinion is valid as long as they watch the show. And it's true, as long as people keep watching the show, then they can hate it, they can love it, as long as they tune in, right? That's really what it comes down to. Negan's likely survival of the Season 8 finale has been fueled by the narrative which has followed Carl's shocking death in the mid-Season 8 finale and mid-Season 8 premiere episodes. It's very difficult to have any death on the show, and to lose working with Chandler every day is not a treat, Gimple said. I'm satisfied with the story we told, and I think this weekend people will see the story in its entirety. And that's pretty much it for the interview. So he's thinking that after we see the episode tonight, people will understand, maybe sympathize more, or understand why they did it more, and won't be so angry that Carl was killed off, because there are some people that are angry, and, good stuff. I mean, I'm looking forward to kind of a new Walking Dead starting next year, them switching things up. They have to do that, and sometimes the more they switch it up, the better, to keep people engaged, keep people interested, and kind of break out of these old kind of molds that they have. The more different, the better. Fear the Walking Dead getting upped by having Morgan and everything they're doing. I think it's really smart at the end of this season to get things set for Fear. And then, of course, with Season 9, looking forward to it to see a different type of show. All Out War was great. At this time, going into Season 9, I'm not so looking forward to, seeing all kinds of action and that kind of stuff. We got to see tons of that this season in Season 8. And it's going to be time to switch it up a bit and do some different stuff that might be more like Season 4. If you guys remember the first half of Season 4, where they're just kind of living before the governor comes back in, and they're dealing with their own problems. They had the illness and that kind of stuff going on. But just switching things up a lot from this kind of, survivor versus survivor group type of war to just kind of like a more regular living type of situation after the time skip. So it should be good. Now we'll get into some of your guys' questions before tonight's episode, because, of course, after tonight's episode, we'll have lots to talk about probably with the finale. Obviously, there's going to be, I remember Norman Reedus said there's going to be several big points in the finale. So, and then, of course, there'll be Fear. So, I'll be up late tonight, guys, with you. So I'll post tonight, just so you know, a review for Walking Dead finale, review for Fear the Walking Dead premiere, predictions for next season for The Walking Dead probably, and, some for Fear as well, too. So it's going to be a busy night tonight, but it's going to be fun, and should have lots of videos this week for you guys because of all the stuff that's pumping out right now. It's good stuff. So Keen O'Brien said, "Hey Trev, Q&A, do you think they make Negan's backstory like a 6-episode miniseries? If JDM has a smaller role in Season 9, I think that would be a pretty cool idea." We might actually see it in the regular series itself, but we're going to see something with Negan, of course, in Season 9. He'll probably be around still, I'm thinking. So, it'd be cool to see other projects like that and stuff like that. They've kind of talked about it a little bit. But we'll have to see if they decide to do something standalone, separate from the regular series. The thing is, with them doing Walking Dead and Fear the Walking Dead, it's kind of tricky to say, like, are they going to be able to add on anything more and do like a live or like a TV movie or something like that for Negan and his life before the zombie apocalypse, or his time in the zombie apocalypse, going from the beginning to where we meet him. I tend to think like, there's only so much they're going to be able to pump out. So I think maybe a flashback episode or two in Season 9 would make a lot of sense. And we'll have to see if they do decide to do that. Maybe first half or second half could be really cool. Trident the Fan says, "Hey Trev, long time no talk. Over the years in The Walking Dead, we've seen different characters take on the role of leadership. Some fit to it, or some fit as leaders, some do not. In your opinion, what makes a good leader in the Walking Dead universe?" you can go kind of two ways with it. You can be, I guess, a good guy type of leader, or you can be a villainous type of leader. Both have their own, I would say, strengths and weaknesses, I think. If you're going to go with the being a darker leader, being more like Negan, the problem, as we've seen with that recently, is you can have mutiny in the ranks. You can have people who kind of fight up for it after a while. But what I tend to notice, this is just my opinion from what I've seen though, is that the evil kind of villain type of leader that leads out of fear like that, and just everybody's terrified of Negan, or the governor, everyone's terrified of the governor. They probably would tend to do well in the short term, but in the long term, people probably won't be very loyal to them. So in the long term, I think it could really hurt them because they're kind of leading like that. Negan's really good, though, that he has both sides, right? He can do the fearsome kind of, you have to be scared of him type of thing. And then he can also be very charismatic and very nice, like the way he's treated Eugene. He's basically been able to, at first, scare the hell out of Eugene, but then kind of be really nice to him to get him to do what he wants him to do. And that's really what... why Negan is as strong as he is. He can kind of do both. But, you either go the good route or the bad route with it. The good route has, its kind of downsides too. But long term, I think it's probably a really good thing to do because people will be loyal to you. They'll care about you. They'll want to help. And I feel like the kind of the scary, fear-based leadership can run out faster than, kind and supportive and doing things the right way. Like if you go the positive way with it, you be a good guy type of leader, it can work, and probably long term is probably better. The opposite, the evil type of leader can do well, I think probably better in the short term, but in the long term it's going to be difficult for people. People will do for an evil leader like that just what they have to in order to survive, but they're probably not going to, they're just going to do it out of fear. So it's like fear versus love. Which one is better in this case? And it really depends. It's kind of hard to generalize. But fear might be better short term to really get people to do what you want them to do. Eventually, they might fight back if they don't care for you at all or anything, right? Smooth JK says, honestly, I'm running out of characters, or they're running out of characters that I care about. And that's a problem with, this was a discussion, I think, in the What If Maggie was killed off in this finale. If they kill off everybody, that's one of the problems. If you kill off everybody, then there's nobody left for anyone to care about. And I feel like with Glenn dying in season 7, that had a huge impact later on, in the future episodes. People really missed seeing him, and they really cared about him as a character, Stephen Yeun as Glenn. And when he wasn't there, a lot of people, maybe the part of the fun factor of the series was gone, or the heart in the series was gone. Reminds me of Captain Planet and the little kid with the heart. Do you guys remember the heart? No, it's true, right? Glenn was like the little kid with the Captain Planet heart rate, right? Even though I have no idea how that fits into elements or that kind of thing. Anyway, so it's pretty off on a tangent there. But yeah, if they kill off all the characters that we like, then it's like, why bother watching the show, because there's nobody that we care about in it. So that's a big thing they got to watch out for. I think they got to be careful when they kill characters off, because it can have a positive impact, or it can have a negative impact too if people get really upset over who's gone and maybe they just want out. They don't want to watch it anymore. Dr. Smarty Pants says, hey Trev, I know a lot of people are moving on to the next best thing from The Walking Dead, but no matter what happens, I'll always watch The Walking Dead. I go to Star Wars and MCU movies. I don't move on so easily. The Walking Dead, in my opinion, is forever, in my opinion. Hopefully, I'm not alone. So I don't think so. I mean, I think there's a lot of us that are really hardcore fans of The Walking Dead and will always watch the show. I certainly will always watch, and a lot of you guys will watch until the very end, pretty much no matter what they do. It would have to be something really, really bad for a lot of us to stop watching after all these years. But you're right, people do get bored of stuff, and they do move on eventually too. And The Walking Dead certainly is not at its hottest point ever, and but I hope eventually, more people will kind of get back into it again, and we'll enjoy it right along with the rest of us. And Shannon M says, The Walking Dead lost casual viewers. Diehard viewers like us stayed because we know there's always fallout with every show. This will pick up again. So thinking that The Walking Dead will pick up again. Well, we'll see. We'll see if it ever gets even close. I don't think it'll ever be as popular as it once was, but I think it can be pretty popular still and do pretty well. Do a couple more. Andrew Ortiz says, look at the difference between characters between season 1 to now season 1 characters acted like real people, and Frank made a realistic adaptation of the Walking Dead comics. Now characters act as if they were in a comic book. And that might be somewhat true, but they were, most of them were in the comic book before in the TV series. And that's a lot of people like Fear the Walking Dead because a lot of the characters there act more like real people rather than kind of comic booky type of characters. So it depends on what you like, and certainly in the beginning, The Walking Dead was pretty hot, and you can't argue that the first few seasons of The Walking Dead were incredible because they built it up to that level that it got to around level season 5 or so when it was just so popular. If the first few seasons were not good, it would never have gotten to that level for sure. Last one will be from Rock Universe Gaming. It says, let's hope they go back up in Season 9. So I think Season 9, probably just, like I said, about the same, maybe a little bit higher than where they're at right now, but I don't think the series will ever be quite as popular as they were. Actually, let's add one more because I don't want to end on that as the last note, but Brian Atcham says, why is Maggie going to the battlefield? She's pregnant. That's true. But then again, like I said prior, if you have her there with the others, she might be better protected than if she was back at the hilltop. Because I don't think the hilltop is that secured. If you look at the pictures of the finale tonight, Rick and all the others are out there. There's like so many people with all the weapons and everything. She might be better off there, and she's wearing like a jacket. They got a jacket on her, I think. So it can, like a flak jacket or bulletproof jacket, that kind of thing to kind of protect it. She's probably better off there than she would be back at the hilltop, just chilling there, because that could be easily taken down. Who knows? Negan might take the hilltop tonight due to the trap and the way he set things up. So it's not a bad call to have her out there. With the others, I think it make sense. But yeah, she might get shot. We'll see. That'll be it for this video, guys. We'll see you back again tonight, of course. Enjoy the absolute hell out of the finale, guys. I hope you like it. Check out Fear later, and I'll be back with all kinds of videos tonight for you guys. It should be lots of fun. If you like this video, though, please don't forget to thumb it up below. You can share, you can favorite, and if you're new and you want to subscribe to the channel, I would appreciate it, and you can do it. You can subscribe at the bottom left. That's it for this one. I'll see you guys again soon for another video. As always, it's Trev, and I'm saying peace later, guys. See you tonight.